For most FPL managers, going without Salah or Haaland is a bit too risky, but going without both, it's practically unheard of. In today's video, I'm showing off a team that dares to break that template, and with that extra money, this team is seriously stacked. Let's take a look at it. This team is absolutely bonkers. Going without Salah or Haaland, it could be the biggest risk you take ever in FPL. But if it pays off, you could be sitting at rank 1 in the world, laughing at everybody else. Now, we're getting really close to game week 1. The deadline is on Friday, so I'm going to be making daily YouTube videos this week, so make sure you subscribe for that. Of course, I'm making FPL videos to help you guys at home, and by you guys just clicking that little red button, you're helping me out a massive amount. I'm so close to 800 subscribers. It would be great to hit that for today's video, and also the like goal for today's video is 30 likes, so let's see if we can hit them both for today's video. Now, starting with the defense, the idea with this defense that I've chose was we're not just going to go with all £6 million defenders and then just have absolutely trash on the bench. I want good rotations in and out, and overall just good defenders across the board. You'll notice, we'll start with Sanchez. Sanchez in goal. A lot of people have went off of Sanchez because of the Colwill injury, and that's very understandable. You know, Colwill is a big part of that Chelsea defence, but do I think it's going to be that big of an impact that Chelsea are just crap defensively now? No, I think they've got enough players in their squad that are quality. At the end of the day, like, they are the best club in the world technically because of the competition they've just won. They adapted to PSG. I think they can adapt to any team in the Premier League. I think they'll have a really strong run at the title this season. I think Sanchez is completely fine to start FPL with, considering how good his fixtures are. We, of course, have Dubravka on the bench, the £4 million option. I don't think there's any need to go with a 4.5 alongside Sanchez. We can just change Sanchez when his fixtures get worse and rearrange in this format. And, yeah, we've got Juve. We'll start with Juve. I wanted to kind of start with the bench there, but we'll start with the starter and Juve here. Really underrated. 4.5, West Ham. He's got a lethal cross on him. He could be super attacking as an option this season for FPL. And of course, West Ham have a good fixture against my club, game week 1 in Sunderland. Yeah, I think he's good. I think he's a really good option, a differential option as well. We have Murillo, 5.5 million, a Nottingham Forest defender. I think Nottingham Forest defenders are absolutely fantastic. Murillo, Williams are kind of my top 2 picks right now. Williams because of the price and Murillo because of his defensive contributions. You have Pedro Porro there. I think I could give a Spurs defender a shout this game for game week 1. Van der Ven, Pedro Porro, Romero are my kind of top boys. Pedro Porro, the reason I've went with him, not only do I have extra money where I can upgrade these type of players, but with Maddison's injury, I think he could take a few more set pieces than he has been previously. And of course, we already know he kind of shares set pieces with Maddison, but Maddison is sort of, has that long-term ACL injury now. So maybe Pedro Porro takes the majority of set pieces for Spurs this season. Of course, should be a bit more defensively sound compared to last season under Thomas Frank. Now the bench. So I cannot pronounce this guy's name to save my life. De Kuipre, if you know in the comments how to say this name, because I have been told multiple different ways how to say this player's name, but I get it wrong every time. So, this Brighton fullback, we'll just call him, I think it's going to be fantastic across the Premier League season. The first few game weeks, we might not see him as much. I'm not too sure how it's going to work out. There are sort of question marks whether he's going to start game week 1. If he does, fantastic. If he doesn't, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think he'll come in when the time is right. But overall, I think he's going to be a fantastic pick at 4.5. Scored a good goal in pre-season as well. And yeah, I think he's going to be a decent option going into this Premier League season. Konsa as well. After that game week 1 fixtures look fantastic. So these 2 players, for me, can easily come into the squad for any of the defenders currently when the fixtures make sense. So yeah, this defence for me looks great. Let's move on to the midfielders now, because things get seriously interesting the further forward we go up in this team. I mean, come on. This midfield is an absolute joke. How on earth can you have Palmer, Wirtz, Bruno Fernandes, Saka, Gakpo in one FPL team? It just doesn't make sense, and I'll tell you now, the forward line is not skimped on either. This is insane. To me, this makes me consider this draft just that little bit. I don't think I'm going to be that risky for game week 1, but bloody hell, this is insane. I mean, we'll go through them, but these midfielders pretty much speak for themselves because they're that big of a name. Like Palmer, great fixtures to start the season. For me, is probably a pick I will definitely start game week 1 with. I mean, the Club World Cup itself, he looked fantastic in there as well. João Pedro, the new signing, he links up with him really well, and I think that could be a great partnership for the first few game weeks. And like I said about Sanchez, I suspect Chelsea will be one of those teams challenging all the way till the end of the season for that title. Wirtz, new player for Liverpool. We've seen him play against Palace yesterday, and for me, I just know for a fact he's going to be up there with one of the highest assist tallies in the season. I think Bruno Fernandes, right next to him, is going to be up there as well, possibly going and breaking sort of 10, 12 assists this season with that brand new front line in front of them. And of course, defensive contribution points for Bruno Fernandes are going to be really nice, and he's going to get a lot of his CBIRTs, the defensive contribution point actions, from ball recoveries, which is of course going to be fantastic for progressing the football forward and going on counter-attacks, which could help him with assists. You have Bukayo Saka. Now, for me, out of all these options, Bukayo Saka is the one where I've kind of just squeezed him in because I can afford him. It's also the fact he has Leeds in game week 2, and I think the weakness of this squad really is captaincy options. Because you're going against the likes of Salah and Haaland every single week. You've got Palmer there, of course, who is going to be the best captain every few weeks, we'll say. But when those big hitters like Salah have a good game week, or Haaland have a good game week, that's where the captaincy issue comes in. And a player like Bukayo Saka that might not be on penalties this season kind of has a decrease in sort of FPL value in my eyes. But I still think Arsenal are going to be fantastic, and of course having a striker for Saka to now aim at, and let's just say it, he's a very good finisher of the ball, Gyökeres. Saka could be great this season. We've got Gakpo as well. Now, Gakpo for me, we've seen it yesterday. I think Liverpool need to change something defensively, ever so slightly, because we've seen a lot of the time Gakpo kind of filling in as almost like a left wing back type player when they were in defence. And of course we see wingers defend all the time in sort of double up situations, but with Gakpo and Gyökeres behind him, Gyökeres, when he drifts on forward up the pitch, leaves him massive hole, and a simple ball over the top into space not only pulls Gyökeres back, but it's also pulling Gakpo back, and that might hurt him ever so slightly as an FPL asset. But going forwards, wow, Liverpool look absolutely fantastic. And I think just some small tweaks as they go through the season, they're going to be so dangerous. Really dangerous going forward. And I feel like Gakpo at that price, that sort of differential percentage ownership as well, is going to be really fantastic to start game week 1 with if you're looking for someone at that price point. But like I said, this midfield, it's an absolute joke. The team is complete with 2 playing up front in João Pedro and Ollie Watkins. João Pedro, of course, one of the highest owned forwards in the game. Over 50% ownership, which is absolutely crazy to me. But 7.5 million seems a really fair price to be paying for João Pedro now. Previously, I've had him as an avoid player, as a player that hasn't ranked quite well in my player rankings. But with the news that Nicholas Jackson could be leaving the club, that's one less obstacle to his minutes this Premier League season. You've only got Delap really to be worried about, and I think there are going to be situations where we see Delap and João Pedro play at the exact same time. We'll just have to see how that plays out, but for me, João Pedro has been in this Chelsea squad for a few games now, and it's looked like he's played with them for absolutely ages. He fits in that Chelsea team so well, and I think he's going to be great from game week 1 with those amazing Chelsea fixtures and how well Chelsea have been performing in their last few games. You then have Ollie Watkins, another player who in pre-season has looked absolutely fantastic, and at that price point I think it's going to be a really great buy, especially for the first few game weeks. And in fact, Ollie Watkins for me is the number 1 forward in FPL right now to have. I think he's that good to start game week 1 with. Personally, I think he's really, really great. You have Cooper Jr. on the bench there for Bournemouth. I think it might take a game week or 2 to get him sort of in the squad, but with the news that Dango Tara could be leaving to go to Brentford, maybe that opens doors for other Bournemouth players like Cooper Jr. to be maybe starting players. And at 4.5 as a forward, I do think he's going to get his time in a Bournemouth shirt, but I'm not quite sure it's from a game week 1. So that's why, of course, he features on the bench, because of that potential going forward. It's similar with Mark Guiu for Sunderland, who they've just signed on loan from Chelsea. I think he, not from game week 1, but onwards in the next few weeks, could be a really fantastic option at a cheap price point. Of course, Cooper Jr. plays for a much better team than Sunderland in terms of sort of their established Premier League-ness, we'll call it. You know, they've been in the Premier League for a good while now. Sunderland just promoted. So, yeah, those 3 forwards for me are fantastic, especially, you know, starting game week 1 with João Pedro and Watkins. It just makes sense to me. And, yeah, overall the squad, it's just insane. It's absolutely insane. The extra money you get from going away from Salah and away from Haaland just lets you get some of the best picks in the entire game. No problems at all. No questions asked. It's crazy. Of course, massive risk to going without Salah or Haaland, and you have to be a seriously ballsy manager to go ahead and play like this. But if it goes well, it could go extremely, extremely well. Let me know what you think of the team in the comments below. You can expect a video every single day this week as we're gearing up to that game week 1 deadline. I always outro my videos with a massive thank you to you guys at home for supporting the FPL Mugs YouTube channel. Of course, if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and click that like button. And if you aren't subscribed just yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button for future FPL content and, of course, that game week 1 deadline stream. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.